Hello everyone, welcome to our lesson on alternate angles. Remember we have done lessons on what? On corresponding angles, that is the geometry of parallel lines. We've also done lessons on what? On adjacent angles on a straight line and complementary angles and vertically opposite angles. Those are angle is formed by intersecting lines. Okay, right, let's continue with our geometry of parallel lines. We're looking at the alternate angles. Right, pairs of alternate angles lie on the opposite sides of the transversal. We talked about the terminology in the lesson in the previous lesson when we were learning about the corresponding angles. We know what a transversal is. We also understood what parallel lines are. So now, pairs of alternate angles lie in the opposite sides of the transversal. Which one is the transversal here? It is EF. EF is the transversal, the line that cuts the parallel lines. So alternate angles, they are on what? Opposite sides. Like here, we have H4 and G2. They are on the opposite sides of the transversal. They are alternate, alternate. Or what is to alternate is to change, isn't it? It's like they're changing the positions. They're on the opposite sides of the transversal. And then the other alternate angles here we can see, and then is angle H3 and angle G1. Okay, so also those are alternate angles. If you check, they're on the opposite side of what? Of the transversal. H3 is on the right hand side of the transversal, and then G1 is on the right hand side of the transversal. Okay, depending on how the lines are arranged, you can also may also have the other one above the transversal and then the other one below. Let's say our parallel lines are like this. You see that? Let's say our parallel lines are like this. You see, these are parallel lines. The parallel lines. We can have alternate angle above the transversal and then the other one below the transversal. Can have another one above the transversal and then this one below the transversal, something like that. Okay, right. And remember also we have exterior alternate angles, but we are not going to discuss that. We just look at the interior ones right now. And then alternate angles are between the two parallel lines. We're going, like I said, we're going to look at the interior ones. So the alternate angles are between the two parallel lines. So H4 there and H2 there, see, they are between the AB and CD, which are parallel. And then we have H3, angle H3 there and angle G1 also, they are between the two parallel lines. Okay, these are alternate angles. It is very, very important for you to be able to identify these angles. Okay, right. When we talked about the corresponding angles, say they form the letter Z. If they said they form the letter F, alternate angles form the letter Z. See that? Okay, form the letter Z. You see? Okay, or you can have another one which goes like, let me just go back a bit and then use the other diagram. So you see that this one forms, okay, like this. Okay, so we say they form the letter Z, or again we can talk about forming the letter N, Z or N, depending on the arrangement of what? Of the lines. So you can have something like this, which is like N, see, alternate there, alternate there. You can have something like this, which is Z, alternate there, alternate there. Okay, right. So that's how we can identify what? The alternate angles. And then if two parallel lines are crossed by a transversal, each of the two pairs of alternate angles are equal. If AB is parallel to CD, then angle H4 is equal to angle G2. Angle H3 is equal to angle G1. If the lines are parallel, then the alternate angles are equal. And then the reason we write, we say alternate angles, like in this case, we say alternate angles, and then we mention the parallel lines. And then the converse of that, we are saying that if the alternate angles between two lines are equal, then the lines are parallel. Right, let's say I give you two lines like this, and then we are not told that these two lines are parallel. We don't know if they are parallel or not, but we know that this angle maybe is 25 degrees, and then this angle is 25 degrees. So these two angles are alternate angles and they are equal, meaning that these two lines are then parallel. So if alternate angles between two lines are equal, then the lines are parallel. And then the reason we write, we say alternate angles equal. Line AB is parallel to line CD because alternate angles are equal. You see that? So take note of the differences of what of the reasons we write them. Right, now let's do this short activity, then we'll be done. Okay, so now we may apply what we've done in the previous lesson. I'm talking about the adjacent angles on a straight line, vertically opposite angles, corresponding angles, even complementary angles if they are there. Okay, right. Given that AB and CD are parallel lines that are cut by the transversal EF, and angle G2 is 37 degrees. Determine the size of H4, H1, G3, and H3. Right, those are the angles. So you can do this activity, try to do all of it, pause the video and do all of it, and then after that, you can mark your work. Right, let's answer the questions. Right, the first angle we're looking at is angle H4. This is the angle here. If you check, angle H4 and angle G2 are what? Are alternate angles. They are alternate angles. And then, so it means angle H4 is equal to angle G2. Alternate angle since AB is parallel to CD. So meaning that angle H4 is also 37 degrees. Okay, done with the first one. The next angle is angle H1. How can you find angle H1? This is angle H1 here. H1. Okay. If you check, angle H4 and angle H1 are what? Are adjacent angles on a straight line. They share a common vertex and a common side. So these are adjacent angles on a straight line. See that? So it means angle H1 plus angle H4 must give us 180 degrees. They are supplementary. Then the reason adjacent angles on a straight line. Then we solve for H1. Say 180 degrees minus 37 degrees, we get 143. Okay, right. And then the next angle is angle G3. What is angle G3? Remember here there are alternate methods. We can use different methods, but I want you to use what we are just learning now, the alternate angles. What is angle G3? Angle G3 and angle H1 are alternate angles. If you check, you see that they are alternate angles, so they are equal. So we can say angle G3 is 143 degrees. But also we could have used what adjacent angles on a straight line here, because you had what angle G2. Angle G2 plus angle G3 must give us what 180 degrees. They are supplementary because they are adjacent angles on a straight line. Okay, right. And then let's do the last one, angle H3. What is angle H3? Angle H3, you can use a lot of methods here, right? If you check angle H3, you can say angle G3 and angle H3 are corresponding angles. Angle G3 and angle H3 are corresponding angles, so they are equal. Again, you can see that angle H4 and angle H3 are adjacent angles on a straight line. Angle H4 and angle H3 are adjacent angles on a straight line, with a common vertex and a common arm. Right, and then the other one, you can see that angle H1 and angle H3 are vertically opposite angles. You see, they have a common vertex there, but they don't have a common arm. They are formed by two intersecting straight lines. So angle H1 is equal to angle H3. You see that? So these are three different methods you could have used there. Let me just do one of them. So we can say angle H1 is equal to angle H3 because they are vertically opposite angles. See that? So this angle is 143 degrees. Okay, done. So we are going to meet when we do our next lesson.